That's right, some ordinary-looking Lincoln pennies have worth up $100,000 to $400,000 and even $3 millions of dollars at auction. These aren't just old coins, they're rare pieces of history with jaw-dropping stories behind them. From minting mistakes and mysterious metals to secret test coins, we're diving deep into the top 10 ultra-rare Lincoln pennies that could change your life overnight, whether you're a coin collector, a treasure hunter. This is a true story about one of the most mysterious and valuable coins in U.S. history, the 1964 SMS Lincoln penny. Collectors have called it a ghost coin. Historians have debated and auction houses have witnessed bidding wars that sent its value soaring past $47,000 and even higher. So what makes this penny so incredibly rare and valuable? How did it go from being a potential experimental strike to a holy grail of numismatics? Let's rewind to 1964. The United States was in the midst of serious change politically, economically, and yes, numismatically. In the early 1960s, the U.S. Mint was overwhelmed with coin shortages. The growing economy demanded more coins in circulation, and the public's fascination with coin collecting surged. Mints in Philadelphia and Denver were producing millions of coins, working around the clock. But then came something strange: the 1964 SMS Special Mint Set Lincoln penny. Wait, 1964 and SMS? That's odd, right? You see, special mint sets weren't officially introduced until 1965. The U.S. Mint halted traditional proof sets in 1964 due to coin hoarding, and introduced SMS coins in 1965-1967. So how can there be a special mint set coin from 1964? That's where the story turns into a mystery. Auction sales record and values. Let's look at some jaw-dropping auction results. 1964 SMS Lincoln penny graded SP68 by PCGS sold at Heritage Auctions for an astonishing $47,000. Another example, graded SP67 red, was auctioned for $35,000. And get this, a top-tier example with flawless surfaces and deep strike details is estimated to be worth $60,000 or more if it ever reaches the market, in the elite world of numismatics, where collectors chase perfection and pedigree. This coin is the crown jewel of modern Lincoln sense. Its extreme rarity, coupled with its unknown origin and stunning appearance, has made it one of the most sought-after coins in American coin history. How to identify a 1964 SMS penny? So what sets a 1964 SMS penny apart from the 6 billion regular ones? Here's what to look for. Sharp, well-defined strike. You'll notice exceptionally crisp details on Lincoln's hair and the Lincoln Memorial. Square-edged rims, unlike normal 1964 cents. The rims on SMS examples are squared, not rounded. Satin finish. These coins have a smooth, almost matte-like texture instead of a glossy or dull circulation look. No contact marks. High-grade examples appear virtually flawless, indicating careful handling. Die polishing lines. Some exhibit light die polishing marks, a trait of SMS preparation. If you believe you found one, get it graded by PCGS or NGC immediately. Authentication is critical, and a verified 1964 SMS penny is a life-changing discovery. The 1968, one of the most common Lincoln penny years, yet it hides one of the most shocking mint errors ever discovered. These rare 1968 error Lincoln penny have baffled collectors, stunned auction houses, and turned pocket change into pure gold. We'll reveal the shocking truth behind this strange error coin, show you how to spot it, and tell the unbelievable stories of those who've cashed. 1968 was a turning point in U.S. coin history. The U.S. Mint had just come out of the turbulent coin shortage of the mid-60s. Silver was being removed from dimes and quarters. The Mint had already stopped producing proof coins in 1964 and switched to special mint sets between 1965 and 1967. By 1968, the San Francisco Mint resumed proof coin production, while Philadelphia and Denver continued minting circulation pennies by the hundreds of millions. Over 1.7 billion Lincoln pennies were struck across the mints in 1968. That includes 1.7 B from Denver to 158 million from Philly, and 3 million proof coins from San Francisco. So how can a coin from such a high mintage year be worth $85,000? Because a handful of them were struck with an error so rare and dramatic it should have never left the mint. Real auction sales price and value. Let's talk about the real-world money. In 2019, a 1968 D. Lincoln penny struck on a silver dime planchette, weighing just 2.5 grams, sold for over $55,000 at auction. Another error, a 1968 penny struck on a foreign copper-nickel planchette, fetched $60,000 to $1,000 due to its extreme rarity and clean strike, and the Holy Grail? A nearly flawless 1968 Lincoln cent, struck on a 90% silver blank, likely left over from pre-1965 silver dimes, stunned the numismatic world when it sold for a staggering $77,000, and experts agree that another one in even higher grade could break the $85,000 mark. Why such high prices? How to identify one 1968 error penny? What if you're holding one of these in your collection or coin jar? Here's how to spot a 1968 error penny that could be worth tens of thousands. Key error signs: wrong weight. Regular pennies weigh 3.11 grams copper. Errors struck on dime or foreign blanks will weigh less to 0.5 to 2.8 grams. Wrong color. A silver-colored 1968 Lincoln cent? Major red flag. That could be a silver dime blank or foreign planchette. Clipped or incomplete design is part of it missing, or the date partially cut off. That could be a planchette too small for the die. Thin or overly thick flange. Some errors are struck on unusually thick blanks or blanks that have rough edges or uneven rims. It's one of the most and valuable error coins in U.S. history. The 1969 Lincoln penny could be worth up to $97,000. Yes, this is real. Yes, it exists, and yes, it has stunned collectors, investors, and historians for decades. 1969 was a year of transformation for America. The Vietnam War, the moon landing, Woodstock. It was a time of revolution, and in the world of coins, something revolutionary was happening too. The Lincoln Memorial Cent, redesigned in 1959 to honor Lincoln's 150th birthday, had already become a favorite among collectors. In 1969, the U.S. Mint struck hundreds of millions of Lincoln cents. Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, over 1.1 billion coins. Denver Mint, D, over 4 billion coins. Auction sales records. Let's get into the numbers, because this coin's value is no joke. In 2007, a 1969 SDDO graded Ms. 6 for red by PCGS sold for $126,500 at Heritage Auctions. In 2019, another example graded MS60 for red fetched $55,000. In 2022, a near-perfect MS66 red specimen was estimated between $80,000 and $97,000, showing that the market still burns hot for this coin. So why the big range in values? It all comes down to grade MS60 for versus MS66 versus red-brown. Eye appeal and doubling clarity. Collector demand at the time of sale. But make no mistake, even circulated examples have sold for over $20,000, and in mint state red condition, they're easily worth $60,000 to $97,000 or more. How to identify a real 1969 double die penny? Now here's the big one. How to spot this valuable coin in the wild or in your collection. Key features of a genuine 1969 double die obverse: strong doubling on each letter, should appear almost shadowed or split. Doubled in extremely bold and visible even without magnification. Doubled date 1969. The numbers, especially 9, should look clearly doubled. Normal mint mark S. This is critical. The S mint mark is not doubled because mint marks were added separately after the die was made. Weight and color: regular copper composition, weighs about 3.11 grams. Most valuable examples are bright red and uncirculated. What if I told you that a single penny, yes, just one copper coin from 1968, has sold for up to $109,000 today? We're diving deep into the shocking story of the 1968 D. Lincoln penny. Not the ordinary kind, but a jaw-dropping mint error so rare, so mysterious, and so unexpected it left collectors and coin experts stunned. 1968 was a turbulent year in America. The Vietnam War was raging. Martin Luther King Jr. and Robert Kennedy were assassinated. The nation was in turmoil, but over at the Denver Mint, something unexpected was happening, something that would go unnoticed for decades. That year, The U.S. Mint struck over 2.8 billion Lincoln cents with the D-Mint mark. That's right, 2.8 billion. So how could a single penny from that massive production run be worth over $100,000 because of a rare, stunning, and unintentional mint error that escaped into the world and became one of the most valuable modern U.S. pennies in existence? Auction sales record and market value. Let's talk money, and believe me, these aren't small numbers. In 2020, a 1968D Lincoln cent struck on a silver dime planchette, graded MS-65 by PCGS, sold for $74,000. In 2022, another higher-grade example in MS-66 with beautiful eye appeal went for $90,000, and the record. A near-perfect, mint state 1968D penny struck on a silver dime planchette with crystal-clear design elements and minimal marks sold for a staggering $109,000 at auction. Think about it, a coin worth 1 cent sold for over $100,000. This coin didn't contain rare metals or diamonds. It was simply a mistake, a beautifully preserved, dramatic mint error that caught the attention of serious collectors and drove up the value. What makes it so valuable? You might be wondering, what exactly makes a coin like this so desirable? Here's the formula: incredible rarity. Only a few examples are known to exist, especially struck on dime plankets with clean details and no damage, dramatic appearance. A silver-colored penny, that's not something you see every day. The visual shock factor increases collector demand, strong eye appeal. The best examples are fully struck, with sharp details and original mint luster, making them great MS-65 to MS-67, confirmed authentication. Graded by PCGS or NGC, these coins come with clear certification that confirms the mint error, the planchette, and the rarity. What if I told you that a single 1973 Lincoln penny could be worth more than $130,000? That's right, 1 cent, just a tiny copper coin most people ignore could hold the kind of value that buys you a brand new luxury car, a house deposit, or even an entire college education. Let's rewind time to 1973. The United States was deep in the Cold War, Vietnam War tensions were still lingering, and inflation was starting to climb. Amid the political and economic unrest, millions of coins were being minted, including the humble 1973 Lincoln penny. In 1973, nothing particularly unusual was expected from the Lincoln cent production. It was supposed to be business as usual. Over 5.7 billion pennies were minted that year between the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. However, a few mysterious errors slipped past the strict inspection protocols, and those coins are now worth tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Auction records and public sales. Let's talk real money. Collectors have poured serious cash into acquiring the rarest 1973 error pennies. Notable auction sales: 1973 DDO MS-66 Road, sold for $96,000 at a heritage auction. 1973 Off-Center 65% Strike MS-64, sold for $110,000. 1973 on dime planchette PCGS 058, auction for $130,000. 1973 Broad Strike with full rims, sold privately for $150,000, and remember, prices are still climbing. As collector demand and scarcity increase, so do the payouts. How to identify a rare 1973 penny? You don't need to be a professional to spot a fortune in your pocket change. Here's what to look for: step-by-step checklist. Check for doubling. Use a magnifying glass, look closely at the date and motto. Inspect for off-center strikes. Is part of the design missing or shifted far from center? Weigh the coin. Normal copper cent, approximately 3.11 grams. Dime planchette or aluminum, approximately 2.5 grams or less. If weight seems off, investigate. Look for color anomalies. A silver-toned or dull gray penny might be struck on the wrong planchette. Get it graded. If you think you have a valuable error, send it to PCGS or NGC for authentication. A certified coin skyrockets in value.